So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're joined by Trae Roberts. He's the singer for Mouth for War, and we're here to talk about the new album that they're going to release on the 27th of October called Bled Yourself. So, first of all, Trae, how are you today?
I'm great, doing good over here. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So I listened to the album and I know the band. This is gonna be your second full length. You have an EP that you put out in 2019, and in 2021 you put out an album. So you're getting ready to release this new album, and it's your first with a new label as well.
Yep. We're very excited to be working with Monarch.
Yeah, they're a pretty cool label. So I listened to the record, and it's a very pummeling record. It's very metalcore meets hardcore from beginning to end. It doesn't let up. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I think you have two singles that you promoted for this album. You have Under the Gun, which is the first single, and I can see why you used that one. What can you tell me a little bit about Under the Gun?
Yeah, we definitely picked that one intentionally as like I'd say it was the heaviest song that we've written so far, and we just wanted to come right out the gates with that, with the label announcement and stuff, and I feel like it landed pretty well. We just wanted to take the most. It's an aggressive album overall, but that's just a very, very in your face song, and that's how we wanted to kick it off. So.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive too. So, in the themes in that song, what exactly does Under the Gun mean? Because when I hear Under the Gun, it's like under pressure, you got to perform. What exactly does it mean to you?
Under the Gun, it kind of has slightly complex themes, but the whole album is dedicated to my sister that passed away, and that song is kind of about almost like feeling attacked by memories, I guess, when they're trying to grieve and trying to process things properly and feeling very under pressure with the medium between trying to not think about things and worrying about forgetting these things about someone that you loved because you're pushing it away. And that's what Under the Gun is about.
No, yeah, it's very heavy subject matter. And the second single that you release is Saturate Me. And that one starts with what sounds like a choir in a church.
Yeah, it's just some creepy song that I heard that kind of fit the vibe. So we just chopped it up and made it sound all scary.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, sometimes church songs sound creepy.
Yeah.
uh, a lot of them. So yeah, it goes. And that one's pretty interesting, even though I think that one out of the whole album, maybe it's still aggressive, but it may be like the most accessible track uh, on the
Yeah,
record.
that was the goal. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's great to hear someone else say because that was definitely the goal. We felt like that song did from beginning to end did everything that we do in our songs. It's all in there, like the pretty parts and the scary parts, and definitely the crazy vocals. So that was why we chose to kick off the record cycle with that one because it kind of shared a little bit of all of the songs in one.
Yeah. So what are you trying to explore with Saturate Me?
Oddly enough, even though I didn't pick these two songs like this on purpose, the themes of Under the Gun and Saturate Me are almost exactly the same, except I just play on a little more of um kind of I'm trying to figure out how to explain what's different between the two. I guess realistically, Saturate Me is more about me opening my mind and letting those feelings take over and kind of accepting to not push away some memories that have been made painful through grief, and letting just allowing it to happen instead of trying to avoid it, I guess. So they're the same in sense, and they're also kind of the opposite. They're kind of about the same thing, but about two different feelings in the same circle there.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, one's like more like angrier, and the other one's like more accepting of
Yeah, exactly.
of
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So when you're when you're about to put an album out, how do you go about like seeing which songs are you going to release as singles? What's the process that the band goes in that regard?
And honestly, that is one of the hardest parts about doing this, especially when you have so many songs. We've got 13 songs in the new thing. Um, I would say it's probably harder for some bands, but we got really lucky with this one, and I think everybody kind of wanted the same songs right off the bat, just even from the very beginning of writing, or like way before actually recording the record. I think we all kind of had an idea of what our favorite songs were in the first place. So it was honestly very easy this time. We were just like, everybody knew Under the Gun was going to be number one. Just something about that song felt crazier than some of the other stuff we did. And then I would say after we were in the studio when Saturate Me finally all came together and we had like the singing and stuff on the little part, we all knew it's like, this is definitely the one. This is all the mix that's going on. So got lucky to have a bunch of guys that were down the same stuff on this one.
Okay, and I know that for this release you went to Chicago to do the recording process for this album. What time of year did you go to do the recording?
I think it was February, which sucked.
Oh yeah, that's why you stayed in the studio.
Yes. Yeah. We had no choice.
Yeah, I have a friend that lives there, and those months there's like it's so cold that they're like you can freeze to death. So you went there, and what was different working on this album than your previous one, besides being super cold in Chicago?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We've actually done our other records ourselves here at my house and stuff. So it was a big jump to want to go to another producer. We already knew exactly who we were going to go to, but that was probably the weirdest part about it. Just we always had an idea of what we were going to be, and letting someone else try to do that can be scary sometimes, but Pete definitely hit it nail on the head though. But being able to be kind of just locked away in a place that we're not at all the time instead of being at my house, and especially the bad weather making us stay there the whole time, kind of called for like a much more fun time for all of us just together doing silly shit and getting a lot more detailed on kind of weird stuff we would add to the songs and stuff, just staying up all night talking about that stuff. That was probably the most fun part about it all.
Yeah, so you got time like to like get really into the songs. Maybe when you do a next album, you can pick like a tropical place.
Yeah.
But maybe that would be counterproductive to working on the songs where when it's a nice weather outside.
Yeah,
So
we'd be too happy.
yeah, you'd be too happy. Uh so growing up for you, like with your vocal styles, I when I was listening to it, I got a lot of vibes, or like I got like vibes from Jamie Justa from Hate Breed meets Phil Anselmo from Pantera. Were those two one of your two like vocal inspirations, or what other like vocalists inspired the way that you like to sing?
Not necessarily them. I would say there's probably a lot of guys that I like that took from like Jamie Johnson and stuff like that. I would say my biggest influence is Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, just the way he over pronunciates and stuff like that. That's always been just overall one of the main influences of this band. So that's probably my number one vocal inspiration.
Yeah, Randy's awesome. Plus, he's been to jail in the Czech Republic.
I saw that story is crazy.
Oh, I read that book, the book that he
Oh, there's
did
a
after.
book?
Yeah, he did a book.
Oh,
And
that's crazy.
when Lamb of God, he did an album that he put songs about that. But yeah, he did a whole book. You should check it out. It's a really interesting book, and he chronicles his time in the jail and everything that happened, and like it's a very interesting read. So yeah, if you can, if you're a fan of Randy, yeah, you get a lot of insight to what he went through. But it's pretty interesting. So uh, besides the two singles that we've discussed, like I listened to the album, and it has some great tracks to it. One track that really I like is "Roses in Place of Your Ashes" that opens up the album. I think it's a very strong album opener. What can you tell us about that track?
Yeah, that was another one of them that when it was written, we were like, yeah, this is the one. We knew immediately that it was a perfect opener. The way the beginning, like, kind of the riff repeats a lot, but it kind of builds on itself and things keep happening with the kind of same rhythm. We're like, that's a perfect, like, it just builds and builds, and then the whole thing kind of falls apart from the rest of that time. Um, a really fun song with just like, I feel like it's got cool hardcore mosh parts right off the bat, but still has like an old 2000s metalcore chimera, like honestly, maybe even a little bit Slipknot, just the like pace when it comes in. So yeah, that was an easy choice. I think that as soon as I sent that to the group as a demo, our drummer was like, that's the beginning of the album for sure. And everybody was like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So we're working on this album for you. Like, was there like what was the hardest track to work on lyrically or musically for you?
um, do you mean like hard as in complicated or hard as in like hard on the heart?
We can take both. Which one was
Yeah,
hard on the heart, and which one was hard on the music side of things?
for sure. I would say Saturate Me. I when we put that one out recently, I shared that it was probably my favorite lyrical content that I've done yet. I was just somewhere in my mind that I was really opening up to some of those feelings, and I think it really showed in the song. And I honestly, I look through it, I feel like that's by far the best lyrics that I've done yet. And then there's another one that we're actually going to be releasing a video for the day before the record next week called Captivated. I think it's number 3 or something.
Yeah, that's the number
Um,
first song on the record. Yeah.
for sure. That was probably as in complicated at first. For me to write to, it had a little bit of a different vibe than the stuff that I write, because the beginning of that song actually, the whole sequence was written by our guitarist, which is why I loved it as well, because I was able to build on it with just like stuff that I feel like I would have never done before. But I wrote that song about a mushroom trip where I was hanging out with my cat, and I felt like uh, I'm not much of a spiritual guy, so it's kind of weird to say, but I almost feel like I connected with my sister through my cat. Uh, and it's something that I've never felt again or before that. So I kind of wrote a song about those feelings, and that was weird and complex for me to write about, because I've never written really based off of almost like a story in a way, or like just with weird lyrics like that. So, but I love how that one came together.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's different because going through the like a story. So right now, this is the most personal album that you put out. Obviously, for you, were you apprehensive uh, to to talk about this heavy subject matter when you were putting the album? Was it something that you wanted to tackle, or maybe the band told you, hey, you need to write about this because music sometimes is the best therapy?
Yeah, so Life Cast in Glass was actually written all about my sister as well, because it was right after it happened. But in a way, that one was all very like one toned about my grief, whereas the Bleed Yourself, the name is kind of exactly what it is. I felt like I had almost said everything that I wanted to say in Life Cast in Glass, but there were things that I hadn't touched on and things that I hadn't dealt with in my own mind. And I kind of bled myself with these feelings. I kind of purposely put myself in shitty headspaces and allowed myself to let some of these things take over. But just as the whole situation, I think when everything happened with my sister, I just knew exactly that's what it was going to be. I had never had something more important to write about, and I had never had an event take place that was going to take over my whole life. So there was never really a question. It is scary and intimidating to say some of these things and let people know how I felt or what I'm talking about. But the reason that I do it is hope that I could help somebody else that might go through something like this as well.
Yeah, no, it's obvious, it's very personal, but yeah, maybe you connect with people who are dealing through similar situations. So yeah, is that it's universal themes that people can connect to. Uh, Plus, when you feel that the lyrics are heartfelt, uh, I think a lot of people connect to more to heartfelt lyrics that maybe songs that uh, don't have those type of lyrics on them. But yeah, uh, so yeah, so you're gearing up to the album's coming out on the 27th. So when you drop the album, do you have like some shows, a release show planned for the release of the album?
Yeah, November 25th, we're doing a release show at our local venue, Black Sheep in Colorado Springs. Super awesome venue. We've actually not played here in about a year and a half because we've just been gearing up to do this. We were kind of saving our draw so we could do this big show when the record drops, but we're super excited about that one. And then a few weeks later, we actually have a secret show that we haven't announced yet that's going to be absolutely crazy. So I'm super excited to talk about that one too.
So follow on the socials for the secret show. So let's talk about the artwork that I haven't showed it yet. So here we have the artwork for the upcoming album, Bled Yourself. So talk to me a little bit about the inspiration for the artwork.
Honestly, I kind of reached out to a few different artists to have them try to make something that ended up not being what we liked in the end. This actually just kind of came out of nowhere. Our good friend Ringo that sings for the band Mugshot, he does a lot of RTs and stuff, and our uh our friend Caleb Butcher, which still does a lot of art for us, amazing local artist that we're great friends with, um, has done all our other stuff. So we were kind of worried about, trying someone new. But I told Ringo just kind of really the vibes. And then I told him, lyrical content, what everything was about. And I let him listen to it. And he sent me this. And I was just like, wow, that's absolutely crazy. I don't know how you even came up with it, but it's perfect because there's kind of lyrical themes about like being angry with God or whatever.
Yeah.
And then also which I didn't even ask him to do, the sunflowers around it is perfect. That was my sister's like signature flower. It's like her symbol for us. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the one. That just looks like if I was going through Spotify and that came up, I'd be like, what the hell is this? And I would listen to it.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that it's a great album cover, because you see it, it's striking. You have the beauty in the flowers, but you have the fire. Then you have the what's that name? I know that you see that a lot in churches, but I forgot the
The
name.
stained glass.
The stained glass. So yeah, it really fits in with the music. It reminded me. I think there's a hardcore band that had something with a stained glass, but it wasn't on fire. But yeah, I can get now that I'm getting the backdrop of the album. I can understand because there's a song called "The Devil," and then you have the song called "Talking to God." Uh, that yeah, it's imagine it's like you're talking to God, asking you as so it's very personal as well. So yeah, it's a very good track as well. So yeah, so the the artwork really fits in with the music. So yeah, so I'll post the link for the I saw the music videos that you have. uh it's simple. It's a simple like performance music videos. Where do you film the music videos for the two tracks that you have right now?
Um, the first one, Under the Gun, which our friend Eric Easterday that does videos for a lot of cool bands. He tours with Gojira a lot. He lives in Louisville. We played LDB Fest in Louisville, which was one of our favorite shows so far. And he was like, all right, let's just flyer everything. Like once it was funny because once they closed the doors for reentry, I just went out and I put flyers on everybody's car windshield. And it was just come to this abandoned building tomorrow at this time. It looks like an abandoned building, but it's like an art studio kind of thing. But it literally is just an abandoned factory that they bought. And yeah, people just showed up the next day at like noon and we just rocked out. We were kind of trying to recreate kind of the Wake the Dead Comeback Kid video because that was like one of the first hardcore videos that I had ever seen, and I thought that would be really cool. And
Yeah, they're a cool
Eric hit
band.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first that I ever found that was like this wave of music. So and then yeah, Eric did a really good job with that one, just having all of our friends partying around us. The Saturate Me video was all an idea that Eric had as well, which we shot that one in Denver here close to home. he wanted to kind of play off the saturate me almost like a being bit by a vampire. And that was all his storyline idea, which I absolutely love how that came out. And he did a great job filming the rest of that at home with some in Louisville with some cool actors and stuff. And yeah, he did a great job with that one.
Awesome. So I've talked to a lot of bands from Colorado, and Colorado has a great metal scene because you have like all type of different bands, doom band, hardcore bands,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
thrash. Uh, what's up in Colorado that there's so many bands, cool bands in the Colorado metal scene?
Yeah, I don't know. I love it though. We're really blessed out here. It's I actually used to live in Indiana, moved here about 5 years ago because how cool it was out here. My old band played here like 5 times and we were like, let's just move here. And then we did. So but yeah, I've always been super proud of the bands that we have out here.
Cool, cool. So, what can you tell before we go to the fans of what to expect for Mouth for War in the upcoming months and next year?
We haven't quite to announce yet, but I could definitely say that we can be expected pretty much every corner of the country next year.
Yeah, that seems like a plausible thing. So, people, the new Mouth for War album, Bled Yourself, will be out on October 27th. I'm going to post the link for everyone that wants to do a pre order of the album, if you wish to do so. And I'll put some links of the music videos that they have. So, Trae, I want to thank you, for taking some time out of your day to chat with me about the album and music and stuff. And hopefully, great things for Mouth for War in the next year and what's left of this year. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.